All right, let's take a look at the assembly of this bread slicer that the brand sent to me, so I'm excited to give it a try. So first of all, it looks like it has the bottom grate right here, and we have the slicing pieces right here, and the little tray at the bottom, which I think is pretty genius that they have this tray, because that's going to not only capture the crumbs, but that's also going to allow you a place to store your sliced bread if you wanted. It's got the rubber stoppers on the bottom, so it's going to not slide while you're cutting, which is very important. The lid right here just set on very easily, no problem at all, it just pops right down on top. Let's open this up and see how easy it is to actually assemble. And you have different widths. So depending on how thin or how thick you want to slice your bread, you have two options here. I don't know the actual dimensions, but you can determine how thin or thick you want your sliced bread to actually be. So let's see, how do we put these on? They just slide down. Oh, yep, so that makes sense. I get it. This is real life assembly here. So this is actually kind of cool. So you pick your whichever sizer you want, and then you can also have the option to make this thinner. So if you have a thinner loaf, you can adjust it that way as well. If you have a fatter loaf, then you can put these more on the outside there. So that's pretty cool. So it's very customizable to whatever size bread you may have. You can slide this down in. That's actually good, because as your bread starts to get shorter, you can move these to make it go in a little bit thinner so that you can have the bread squeezed inside here. As you should already know, when you're cutting bread, you want to make sure you're using a serrated knife like this. So that way you can then just put the bread right down here in between each of the slots, and you can get your bread sliced. So I do like this. This is my first impression, as you can tell. And or if you want the other size, I guess more of a thin sliced option, you have that here too. So this is pretty cool. I'm glad the brand sent this over to me. Excited to give it a try. I don't have any non-sliced bread, but let's just go ahead and put some bread inside here so that you can get an idea for the size of it. So if I was cutting something like this, I could put this down inside, push it over to the end. But actually this bread is thinner, so I'm going to move this closer, put this down to block the end, like that. And then I could put this side over here on this end. And then it's actually, I like the flexibility in it. So if you needed to try and squish it, if it doesn't fitting it perfectly, you can adjust. I think I even have these on opposite ends right here. So you can squish it, and that way your bread is going to fit nice and snugly, and you can go ahead and start cutting. And again, it has the rubber stops on the bottom, so it's not going to move around too much. It moves around a little bit because I'm not being secure. You should really use two hands because you are using a knife, people. Be safe. So if you are looking for a bread slicer, I'm going to recommend this one. It's pretty cool. Works well. Thank you to my brand for sending it to me. More thing, I'm going to say very easy to clean, because all of the crumbs stay trapped in the bin below. So yeah, this is great.